Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for participating to our webinar. We're presenting this thematic 2025 upcoming trends in local marketing, and I welcome my two colleagues, Rawat and Michelle.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. We're very excited to show you what we have on deck today. Michelle and I are going to be presenting today's webinar, and it's the 2025 upcoming trends in local marketing. So we're here to help you to maybe update your new marketing strategy going into the new year. So I'm going to let Michelle take the wheel, as they say, on the first part of the presentation, and then I'll be handling the second part. So Michelle, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Hawad, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. Throughout today's session, we encourage you first to engage with us, ask questions, leave comments, and make sure of the live chat. We'll take some time at the end to answer your question, so please feel free to ask anything along the way. A quick introduction about Partoo for those who may not know what is Partoo. Partoo, we work with over 1,200 brands globally, helping them enhance their local visibility, engage their customers, and drive growth. Our solutions are rooted in empowering businesses to get found and chosen online. And our team spans 400 employees across 150 countries. In today's session, we will cover 5 major trends in local marketing for 2025. We'll discuss the key strategies for improving local SEO, connecting with audiences on social media, optimizing your store locator for regulatory complaints, benchmarking your brand against competitors, finally, leveraging customer feedback for better engagement. Starting by SEO, local SEO, a fundamental area for driving foot traffic and online engagement. Managing your brand local listings, ensuring they are updated, accurate, and complete is essential, but it's also an operational challenge. For each location, there's a lot of data to update, like addresses, phone numbers, hours of operation, special services, and more. Imagine you are a business with hundreds of locations. If each listing needs updating even once a year, that's a significant workload for you. At Partoo, we help clients like you keep these listings accurate and visible by streamlining the process, ensuring consistency across all platforms. A key takeaway here is to maintain a regular schedule for updating listings and to delegate or automate where possible. For instance, many Partoo clients have seen a minimum of 10% boost in profile completion just by giving local management to the physical stores. In addition to this, managing local reviews and feedbacks is also important. One of our clients, as you can see, saw a major improvement in engagement after they began responding to local reviews in timely manner. Next, we're going to talk about engaging local audiences through social media. Social platforms have evolved, and so how brands can reach local customers. While a single generated post may resonate as deeply, locally relevant content created by individual store teams can foster strong connections with customers. Think about it. Local store posting about a weekend event will naturally engage more than a generic nationwide promotion. It gives the brand's face, helping local audiences feel connected to their nearby store. This approach not only boosts engagement, but also increases local visibility. We found that by providing branded templates to store teams, brand can ensure a cohesive look and feel across all posts. You are also empowering those close to your customers to communicate directly with them. One tip is to reward field teams for their social media efforts, whether it's through recognition program, bonuses, or other motivations. This reinforces the idea that everyone plays a part in the brand local success. Now we're going to talk about Store Locator and the important updates related to the Digital Market Act, or DMA. With the DMA, companies classified as very large online platform will be under review, especially regarding practices that may limit competition. For brands with store locators, this can influence how your businesses appears in local search result. Google is prioritizing brands that follow or respect these regulations, giving extra visibility to locators directly on branded sites rather than third-party listings. This is a big shift how customers find businesses, and now we are going to share with you one of our previous webinar where we talk about this. So you can click on it to watch it later after the webinar. And now we're gonna talk about optimizing stores located for SEO compliance. What does this mean for your brand? Firstly, you should optimizing your store locator to align with DMA requirements. That means adding direct calls to action like booking or contacts buttons to improve conversation rates right from your locator page. Also, ensure your locator is highly visible and easily accessible across your website. A practical example, a well-optimized locator with embed directions, contact details, and call to action buttons can rank directly right alongside comparison sites or local directories, bringing customers directly to you. And now I'm gonna give the floor to my colleague Rawat to talk about competitor benchmark and analysis.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for this beautiful explanation that you did. As to continue on what you spoke about, I'm going to talk about the competitor analysis, which has always been very important. It's always very good to know how you are ranking against your competition because we are always trying to beat competition. And this is why we at Partoo have implemented our newest solution called competitive benchmark. So with our tool, you can now track not only your national competitors, but also those who are operating literally in your very own locations, like close to the physical single location. You are able to track how every single location is faring against its competition. So you guys can understand now where they stand in terms of visibility, in terms of reputation, and customer sentiment compared to the competition. So for that, it's very important to keep a pulse on how your competitors are performing in both physical locations and also in online spaces. A very small example, a popular local restaurant may be drawing away your foot traffic, even if it's not a direct competitor. Like maybe it's not a direct competitor in even the product of it, but they might be also stealing away people from your stores. So by tracking both national and local competitors, you'll be able to make data-driven decisions. So for instance, with Partoo's tools, brands can analyze local ratings and reviews, benchmark themselves against competition, and even track response times. This gives you a comprehensive view on your market position and helps you identify areas of improvement. So it gives you a real time data and analysis on what is currently happening around you. So for that part, we would like to move on to what it like because our competitor analysis is based on the customer reviews and what the customers are saying. We're gonna move on to talk about how Partoo can help you deal with those customer reviews. So customer feedback is a gold mine of information and one of the most direct ways to enhance customer experience. Asking for feedback after a visit, whether through email, SMS, or WhatsApp, allows you to stay connected with your customers' experiences. Using open ended questions, you can gather detailed feedback, which is invaluable for service improvements. You may also improve your customer experience by categorizing your reviews. With our solutions, you can categorize and analyze your reviews and improve your reputation, your e-reputation strategy. And the goal with Part 2 is to technically enhance your customer experience. It's not enough to just collect feedback. You need to engage with it because it shows that 53% of customers are willing to return if they are receiving a reply to their review. Because we like to work at Partoo on the customer behavior. Let's say you go to a restaurant and you have a very bad experience and you leave a not so good review. And if the customer and if the client, like the restaurant owner replies to your review, we have seen with our clients that a lot of the customer behavior is more willing to actually either deleting the review or amending it. He would feel good about himself that one, his complaint was well received, and two, there might be a call to action for it. So it is very important to reply to those reviews, even negative ones, because these are the ones that have the most impact on your business. There's also 44% of customers regularly read owners' responses to negative reviews before making a decision. It's not only impacting the people that are leaving the reviews, but it's also impacting the people who are coming to the stores. They want to see, how does this restaurant operate when somebody is leaving a negative reply? And it is impacting a lot their decision making process to come to the restaurant. So there are issues encountered in responding to reviews. People like there's a lot of uh, there's a big brands work with us. We can see some of them who are in the chat today. Let's say United Pharmacy or Abdul Wahid or many more or Senomi. They have thousands or even hundreds of locations. It's very hard for them to reply and manage those reviews efficiently. And the key four pillars of issues that are encountered in those situations are one, management of the volume of reviews. So if you're a brand with multiple points of sale, as I just said, you might know that dealing with a big volume of reviews is a challenge. So you need to optimize that process in the most efficient way possible. Number two, you have the consistency of responses, the frequency with which you respond to the reviews. Number three, you have time and resources. So answering to your reviews can be a time-consuming process. And finally, you have the complexity of some complaints. Reviews are also a channel through which customers may express discontent and a bad experience. And sometimes one bad review can ruin a reputation of a business. So it's very important to manage all of these in a very good manner. So one of the many tools that we have at Partoo within the review management solution is we have recently implemented our AI-powered solution, which, as everyone is doing right now, it is very important to leverage AI. And we leverage it in a way to automate responses, which can lead to a very huge time saver, especially for brands receiving a very high number of reviews. With AI, you can prioritize responses for negative feedback while ensuring each customer feels heard. So Partoo helps brands respond to hundreds of thousands of reviews, reducing workload and improving response time. And with the vision of Partoo, we are rising more and more towards the conversational through AI. So by 2025, we feel like 5% of e-commerce will be represented by conversational commerce. So the future is moving more towards a future of customer interactions. And more customers prefer using messaging platforms. And studies show that conversational commerce, as I show you here, would lead to a 5% market share of the e-commerce by 2025. So people are increasingly relying more on platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp to connect with brands, ask questions, and even make purchases. And the numbers speak for themselves. According to our research, 70% of conversations via Partoo involve purchase intentions, such as reservations or requests for quotes. This shows that customers are eager to engage with brands through messaging, making it critical to include these channels as part of your customer journey. By being accessible on these platforms they use daily, you enhance the customer experience, build stronger connections, and drive more conversations. So, nearly 47% of users, for instance, use Facebook Messenger to chat with businesses. People no longer want to have calls with businesses because it's taking a long time to get an answer that can require a couple texts. So people are much more reliant to speak to businesses on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Instagram, or even through SMS. Because let's look at the customer behavior. If you're calling a business, you're waiting 5-6 minutes on the line to see if they have a Nike shoe in size 42. But if you're sending a message on the phone, you're not going to be on the phone waiting for somebody to message you back. You're going to send the message, put it on the side, be about your day, And within a couple minutes, you're going to have an answer as to yes or no if they do have whatever you want. So it is becoming a much smoother process. And especially after COVID, people are going more towards conversational commerce. So 47% of users are using Facebook, for example, and integrating messaging channels like Messenger and WhatsApp into your strategy not only meets customers where they're comfortable, but also opens a direct line for instant communication. You no longer have to wait on the line. You can just have a message or receive a message within seconds or even minutes from your initial conversation. So, also, the same as reviews, there are difficulties in managing a high volume of messages. You have tens or twenties or hundreds of locations. You receive maybe thousands of messages a day. How are you going to manage all of these messages? And it is by uh, especially showing the studies that we have done. So 46% of internet users waiting time for a response is less than an hour. 80% will contact another institution if there is no response. And there is a 9-hour average message time response. This is one of the main pains that companies go through before talking and joining with Partoo. So again, we like to leverage AI. We like to integrate AI in a lot of our tools. And the main AI tool that we have called it Gym. And we have integrated AI in order for your team to help better manage their requests. So managing a high volume of customer inquiries can be challenging, especially when customers expect prompt responses. To address this, Part2 uses AI to help automate responses to routine messages, allowing teams to focus on more complex interactions. AI can instantly handle inquiries, provide answers to frequently asked questions, or offering immediate assistance, which increases customer satisfaction and helps reduce the workload for customer support teams. This automation not only saves time, but also ensures that customers receive a fast, consistent, and accurate response every time. So this is a small case study which shows the impact of AI automation on conversational commerce. So to illustrate the impact of AI-driven automation, let's look at this case study in front of us. Over a period of 2 months, they received over 3,000 customer messages. This is our client cash converters in the Benelux. And with 77% of those customer messages being fully automated. The results were extremely impressive. 95% of these interactions had a direct impact on revenue. By automating these initial interactions, our client was able to engage customers efficiently, while AI provided an effective solution for handling high messages volumes without compromising the quality of service. So this example highlights the potential of AI in not just improving response rates, but also significantly boosting revenue through conversational commerce. So to conclude what we spoke about today, we started with how local SEO optimization and store locator are working hand in hand with the DMA to ensure your positioning in local searches, how e-reputation management and customer feedback is extremely important for one's business. It is very important to improve your customer experience and customer satisfaction. And we have seen how people are going more towards conversational commerce rather than on the phone or even through website commerce. And that is by including messaging platforms like WhatsApp or Messenger to improve your customer communication. And we have seen that through Part2, 70% of conversations represent purchase intentions. And finally, we all need to leverage AI to support your teams. We don't want AI to take our jobs. We want to use AI to better our jobs. So we are automating tedious tasks such as responding to notices or messages to reduce the workload of your teams. So these are our resources at your disposal. You can scan the QR code over here. Some blog posts here on the top right as well. And I think this is it. We are all ears now to answer all of the questions that you have. And we would love to hear your feedback. We'd love to have a conversation about what we spoke about today. And yeah.
We have a question from the audience. Jono asked if you think companies should disclose that they're using AI generated responses to reviews. What are your thoughts on that?
In my personal opinion, I don't think this is a necessity because AI is everywhere and people are expecting that there is AI as long as they get the answer that they need, which is what the goal of AI is. Through messages or through reviews, you are able to get a very accurate response through AI, and there is no need for you to actually disclose that you do use AI.
I see there are some people typing their questions, so let's wait on some few more minutes.
Of course.
Meanwhile, something that we just want to reinforce is that everyone who connected is going to receive this replay along with the presentation here shared. So don't worry, within a few hours, you will receive it.
AI, Ahmad said, AI can replace humans in pharmacies. Uh, well, that's debatable. I think you can debate something or I can debate something, but what are your thoughts on this? If you want to take the mic and share your thoughts on how AI can replace people in pharmacies. But in my opinion, I don't think so. I don't think AI will actually replace people. I mean, they will to a certain extent, but I think if people are smart enough or act quickly enough, we will use AI to better our own jobs, not to help them replace our jobs. I think so. I hope so, I mean, also. Ahmed is still typing. It's important for customers to feel heard and understood. Are we at risk of creating artificial understanding? That's a very good question. And to a certain extent, no, because when you are dealing with a high volume of reviews, you are getting thousands and thousands a day. The human in himself doesn't expect to have an answer at one point. And AI has allowed us to at least make his voice heard and at least to the basic things that are happening when they want to treat a certain case. The goal is for him to be heard and for the teams to take an action on what is happening. I mean, not all reviews should be automated through AI. I mean, our tool has different ways of answering reviews and not mainly focus on AI because the way we tell our clients like okay, you can use AI for everything, but let's say for negative reviews the platform will give you an alert, and in that way you are able to treat it, let's say, in a more human way, because the positive review would require a positive answer and there's not much work that could be done about it. But when there's a negative review, we advise our clients to actually use a our reply templates or even manual replies to treat a more tedious or more delicate situation. So we don't really focus everything on AI, but we do use it in order for us to alleviate a lot of the pains of our clients. Ahmed, I mean, will people trust AI more than humans? I don't personally, but if it helps me a bit with my life on how things are. Yes, but I don't think people like Maybe, I don't know. This is a question I don't have the answer to.
Thank you so much for all the questions. This has been a quite interesting debate. Maybe we can think about, creating a specific session only to debate this. It's so interesting. I think many people have a lot of takes on that. As we're getting close to the end of the sessions, I also want to share some of our contacts. You can always reach out to our team. Here is the email address of Rawad, Michelle, in case you have any specific more questions. And I think we can call it a day. And I appreciate you, Rawad and Michelle, for this incredible contribution. And I don't know if you want to say last words.
I appreciate you guys for being here, and pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending.
Thank you, guys. As Jessica said, you'll receive this recording, and we'll talk soon. Looking forward to speaking to you again. Have a very good day. Bye-bye.